We have a pregnant pause before the recording starts. Thank you. Good morning and welcome to this special digital meeting of Cabinet, Wednesday 17th of March 2021. I just need to remind everyone that the meeting will be recorded and made available to view via the Council's website, except for discussions of confidential or exempt items. Thank you, and welcome to the press and welcome to our colleagues as well, other member colleagues as well. Have we received any apologies? No. Okay, thank you, Christina. And if there are any officers that we're aware of later, then they can just be added in the chat. Thank you. Declarations of interest. Councillors and officers are reminded of their personal and responsibility to declare any personal and/or prejudicial interest in respect of any item of business on the agenda in accordance with the Local Government Act 2000, the Council's Constitution, and the Code of Conduct for both councillors and officers. Has anyone got anything to declare? Okay, thank you, everyone. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is to note the Cabinet Forward Work Programme. And I think I might hand over straight away to Councillor Morgan on that one.
Yeah, thank you, Leader. I would just like to thank officers for populating the Forward Work Programme for the next few months in advance. As you all know, I have asked for this to be done for some time. I realise that obviously going through the COVID pandemic, that forced us to have a much more sort of reactive approach to the Forward Work Programme as things have brought so many urgent matters brought before us. But yeah, I just want to say thank you. It's lovely to see the Forward Work Programme with months in advance. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Morgan. Absolutely, and I think it's useful now to everyone. Everyone can see that the sort of work that we've got coming up for us, you know, and it's a good opportunity for us all to share that information. So thank you. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is to receive the interim report from the Task and Finish Group on non-residential care charges. And if I can hand over to Councillor Shane Cook, please.
Yeah, thank you, Leader. This report, in essence, is asking for an extension of the current annual increases of charges for non-residential social care in the County Borough for 2021-2022. As members will be aware, a task group of the Social Services Scrutiny Committee is currently conducting a task and finish review of our charge and policy for this type of care. However, due to disruption caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, this review is still ongoing, and the task group are not in a position to make a recommendation for 2021-2022. Therefore, the report's recommendations on page 5, the Cabinet extends the decision to increase non-residential charges by 10% per annum for hourly rates and 20% per annum for daily rates for a further year into the 2021-2022 financial year. The Task and Finish Group on non-residential care charges would then make recommendations for Cabinet consideration on the charge from 2022-2023 onwards. I move.
Thank you ever so much. Councillor Fitt.
Yeah, thank you, Leader. I'm more than happy to second this report. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you for bringing this today and fully understand the need to extend the decision here. So thank you for bringing this report, because I think it just acknowledges the difficulty over the last 12 months. So, Councillor Morgan.
Yeah, thanks, Leader. I just wonder if I could ask officers about the affordability of it. Obviously, there's a 10%, 20% rise. We are, I understand, in the lowest 3 councils in the whole of the 22 authorities in Wales with our charges. Is it still affordable for residents? I understand that obviously if something is free or a very nominal charge, then there'll be a massive demand for that kind of facilities, which obviously pushes us into larger and larger subsidies. So it's always a balance on these things. But I just want to ask officers if the DWP sort of affordability, if it's built in, if it's still affordable. Thank you.
Okay. I'm not sure who's indicating to come in to respond to that. Dave Street, if you'd like to come in.
Thank you, Leader. Yeah, Councillor Morgan, you're absolutely right. We are certainly down towards the bottom in terms of the rates. But just to reassure you, everyone who receives non-residential service is subject to a means testing process. That process is set out by Welsh Government. And currently around 40% of the people who receive non-residential care in Caerphilly actually get it free of charge. They make no contribution at all. So really, this increase in charges would be factored into that financial assessment. People would be assessed again, and if there's anyone where the increased charge simply isn't affordable, then they wouldn't be charged it. So this was very much done on the basis of ability to pay.
Okay, thanks for that, Dave. And this is obviously this is an interim report until we get the full result of the task and finish group. So, as an interim measure, I'm quite happy to agree there.
No, thank you for that. And I think that was a really good question to ask to get a level of understanding around that. So, and Dave, thank you very much for that explanation. If there are no other indications to come in on that, then I would ask that we'll go to the vote then to make to take into consideration the recommendations set out on page 5 of the report. And if anyone has difficulties, please let me know in submitting the voting card. I'm not sure whether everyone's has gone through yet. I'm only seeing 7 votes at the moment. Is it more on your screens? Yeah, it must be the internet for me then here. Okay, that's unanimous then. Thank you ever so much. Okay, moving on to item 5 on the agenda then, and this is the statutory publication of the gender pay gap data 2020 in relation to the Equality Act 2010. Can I ask Councillor Morgan, please? Councillor Gordon, sorry.
Thank you, Leader. The purpose of the report is to seek approval from Cabinet for the publication of the Authority's Gender Pay Gap Written Statement 2020. Under the Equality Act 2010, Specific Duties and Public Authorities, Regulations 2017, all organisations listed as Schedule 2 to the regulation that employ over 250 employees are required to report annually on the gender pay gap from 2017. Provisions under these regulations only apply to employees directly appointed and managed by the Council. Employees who are appointed and managed by school-led teachers, governing bodies are not required to be included within the scope of the Council gender pay gap. Excuse me. The Council gender pay gap data is required to be published on its own website and a government website by 30th of March each year. The Council Gender Pay Gap Written Statement 2020 is attached at Appendix 1. The Council Gender Pay Gap does not stem from paying male and female employees differently for the same or equivalent work. Our gender pay gap is reflective of the causes of gender pay gap at societal level. As per recommendation of 3.1, Cabinet asked to agree the written statement attached at Appendix 1 detailing gender pay gap data for publication on the Council's website and government website online using the Gender Pay Gap Reporting Service. The recommendation is made to comply with the legislative requirements of the Equality Act 2010, Specific Duties and Public Authorities Regulations 2017. I move the report and the recommendations, Chair.
Thank you so much, Councillor Gordon. Councillor Stenner?
Yeah, I'd like to second the recommendations in the report.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, are there any indications to come in on that? Okay, I mean, thank you. I know this is obviously a statutory process that we have to go through every year in terms of publishing the report. So any organisation over 250 members of staff has to actually detail the figures in that relation, and I'm grateful for the fact that there's great detail in here in the supporting statement around those figures, because I think it can't be just taken at face value. It needs to underpin what we are as an organisation. So I thank the officers for the detail in the summary and the statement around that, because it's not just about those numbers. You do see there that our figures are in such that we have a high proportion of female workers in our organisation, and we have a great deal of women in different positions throughout the organisation as well. So it's useful to see that statement, because I think it explains the situation quite adequately for our organisation. So if there's no further questions on that, then, and we're happy for that to be published, and then, as you say, Councillor Gordon, to go on our website, etc., in line with all the regulations, then I'm happy to move that we go to the vote on that. Thank you, Charlotte. Okay, have they all been received? Because my sister, yes, they have. Thank you. I can see that's unanimous, and thank you ever so much, everyone, and thank you for attending today. Thank you very much. That was a short agenda for today, so obviously that was quite a quick meeting. So thank you, everyone. If you can stop recording now, Charlotte. Thank you, Lynn.